I don't know what happened there.
That's
Yeah,
cool
I
though.
don't know. I don't know what happened. The intro video did not play on my side, so
It
either
played
way,
on my
late.
side.
Okay, cool, good. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Other Side of the Mic. Tonight, my special guest is Tim LeLand
What's up?
of Tragic Fate. He is also a solo musician. Tim, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm here. You know,
Yeah.
I'm hoping we do not have any technical difficulties, but so far it's not looking too promising.
All right. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
Oh yeah, we'll just run this. All right, so Tim, tell the audience a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do.
Well, my name's Tim Leland. I'm from St. Joseph, Missouri. Well, that's where I'm based out of. I grew up in more rural Missouri. Um, and then I moved here because I wanted to play music. And the town I grew up in, there was only one bar. So I was like, well, I can't really make it and play music if there's only one place. So I moved up here with one of my friends, and I just started going to open mics up here. And now I've been performing live here in town for like 8 years. Um, I've won awards the last couple of years. I won Best Solo Performer for St. Joe 2 years ago. Last year, I won Favorite Solo Performer, and then my band Tragic Fate also won Favorite for Best Band 2 years ago as well.
Very
Um,
nice.
yeah.
So, how is
Um,
the music scene in your area? Like, how close are you to like St. Louis or anything?
so St. Louis is like 3.5, 4 hours, I think, somewhere in there. I'm not quite sure. I'm closer to Kansas City. St.
Okay.
Joe's like 45 minutes north of KC. So I'm a
Okay.
lot closer to Kansas City, Lawrence. I go to a lot of shows and play in Lawrence. Um, those are Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska, are about
Mhm.
2 hours away too. So we're kind of have a couple of options there, which is
All
nice.
right.
But
Well,
here in town
next.
uh, in St. Joe specifically, we have a couple of venues that do like full bands and stuff. There's a few breweries, wineries, things like that do acoustic music, and uh, but for the heavier stuff, there's really only like two places here in town to play. So a lot of us go to like Kansas City, Lawrence, these surrounding areas for sure.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
knowing how close you are to KC or whatever, if my band heads out that way again this year, I'll have to hit you up.
Oh yeah, for sure. That'd be fun.
We actually we played out in Kansas City this past summer and had a fun time out there. To be honest with you,
Yeah. Where'd you guys
and
play at?
it we were at Blip Roasters, which I guess is like a
Oh, okay.
coffee. Yeah, it's a coffee place and
Yeah.
everything.
I haven't
But
ever been there, but I've heard of it before.
it was actually a really good show, and
Oh yeah.
Vanessa Hodges is great to work with if you ever head out that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I know her. Yep.
Mhm. Yep, that's who hooked us up and everything, and just
Oh yeah.
awesome time out there.
Cool.
So with that being said and everything, being a solo artist, being in a band, um, I guess the best question to ask at this point is what are some of your influences? Like what got you into wanting to play music?
So I've kind of always loved music, like um, literally from the time I was a baby. There's home videos of me as a toddler going around singing the VeggieTales song, just going around singing, and just like I've always loved it. And I grew up in church, and I played a lot in the worship team, and I sang at church and stuff like that. And then once I left there, I just started playing around here, open mics, bars, um, and wow, I just lost my train of thought completely. Um, oh, no. It's been fun for sure.
So, who are some of your influences?
Okay, that's the question. See, I had a long day at work. All right, it's been rough. Um, so my influences vary a lot because obviously my solo music, you'll hear later, I play the ukulele, I do acoustic stuff. I just recently got a banjo lele, and I've been doing a lot of country music and like folk music, stuff like that, having fun with that. Um, with the regular ukulele stuff, I do a lot of reggae, just normal like top hit stuff. Both of my originals are on the regular ukulele. Um, and one of my biggest influences currently is a guy called Jack Kays. I cover a couple of his songs, and I just went and saw him in concert for the first time actually a couple months ago. That was really cool.
Hmm.
He's an acoustic singer songwriter. Um, a lot of my stuff's really based, recently at least, is very based on his stuff. But my acoustic stuff, like I said, it varies. I do everything from country to folk to reggae to 80s rock and like I don't know, just whatever I feel like at the time. I do a cover of My Shiny Teeth and Me from the Fairly Odd Parents. I do SpongeBob stuff. It's all over the place. I just love music, like all of it. There's something in every genre that I can enjoy, that I can find, and I'm like, this, even if it's not really my thing, like this is, it's art, and then somebody created that, put time into making that, it's cool. Um, I also have a heavier side to my music, obviously. Um, so I have a electric ukulele that has electric guitar strings, and I run distortion through it, and I do like punk and metal. I cover like Green Day and Good Charlotte, like 2000s emo stuff, and just do a lot of
on
that kind of stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
on an electric ukulele.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I just learned something new today. I did not know they made electric ukuleles.
yeah, yeah. It has or electric guitar strings on it. It's strung like ukulele, played like one. I guess I play it more like a guitar than a ukulele, but yeah, that's a lot of fun. I do
You know,
that, and then um, obviously then my metal band. So I have an even heavier influences than that. I was raised really religious, and I didn't really wasn't allowed to go to things, and like especially metal music, rock music, stuff like that. So once I kind of moved out and started discovering my own music, I one of my friends showed me King 810. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They have a song called
yes.
Fat Around the Heart.
Yep.
And Fat Around the Heart was like the first heavy song I'd ever heard outside of like Guitar Hero. It was like the first heavy song with all mostly screaming that I'd ever heard. And I was like, this is sick. I like this. And it just kind of went from there. I went to my first metal show about 8 years ago, I think. It was Whitechapel headlining. It was like the 15-year anniversary of Somatic Defilement, and it was just
Okay.
a really heavy show. It was them, Carnifex and Rings of Saturn. Um, so This Is Suffering and Entheos. I still remember the lineup like it was yesterday. It was crazy.
And you're saying that was your first metal show?
Yep, my first metal show I ever went to was that,
That
and I was in the pit the whole time. I had so much fun. My friend was like, "You have to mosh." He's like, "That's the big thing about metal shows. You have to mosh." And I was like, "Okay, sure. Never done this before." Got in there with my glasses on. There's a picture of me after the show. My glasses are just in pieces, like sitting on my face together. It was a good time for sure. But
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what my first metal show was, but one, the lineup that you went and saw for your first one definitely has mine beat.
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Secondly, secondly, that's one hell of an introduction to the genre.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
because that
like
was
growing up and
heavy
everything.
Whitechapel. That was when Whitechapel was still really heavy. It's
Yeah,
fun.
definitely. Shit. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Then ever since
all right.
then,
So,
I just go to concerts all the
but
time.
I'll say what.
Multiple concerts a month.
All right. So, what is your last concert you went to, and what's your next concert?
All right. Who did I see last? Let me think. Because I saw Jack K's, but after that, we went to a show. Dang. It's crazy too because it's gotten to a point now where I've been to so many that they all run together and I've seen so many bands. Oh, it was we went to Omaha and I saw it was Oceano. It was
Oh,
Oceano and Victims. Who I'm pretty good friends with Victims. I've my second metal show ever was a house show at this guy's house in KC. It was called man, Bubba Spins Record and Flop House is what it was called. It was literally just this guy's living room, and he just like rented it out to bands to play there. And
okay.
Victims came through with Weeping Wound, and I heard their guitarist outside like talking about where they were going to stay tonight, and my friend was like, "They can crash at my place," and then so they came and they crashed at his place and we partied with them all night. And then the next couple times they came through, they stayed here at my house,
Mhm.
in the house I live in right now. They've stayed here twice, and I every time they come through here, I make it a point to really try to go and see them because it's been really cool watching them from literally a guy's living room with 10 other people to like now seeing them touring Europe and like stuff like that. It's just crazy. Like watching them grow like that's really cool.
See, and that's some of the coolest memories you can make out there is when bands first start, getting that up and coming, they
Mhm.
actually start making headway. And it's like you can literally say, well, I knew them before they got to this point. I still talk to them,
Yeah,
you know.
for sure. Yeah, it's
And,
a
and
cool feeling.
it's the memory aspect of
Mhm.
you're building those relationships and everything.
Yeah.
So what's the next concert you're going to be going to?
I just bought tickets for it's at the Bottleneck in Lawrence. It is Crown Magnetar. It's the very last date of their tour. It's Crown Magnetar, Extermination, Dismemberment, and Larcenia Row, I think.
Well,
Let me-
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't know who any of those bands are.
It's check it out.
I will. I will
Good.
have to check that out. I love expanding my music horizons and everything.
For sure.
I'm more into I'll listen to metal and everything, but there's
Mhm.
always more so punk rock taking over all my playlists.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you look at my playlist, you'd be like, did this kid ever grow out of being 16? Because it's literally my top 10 albums. It's A Day to Remember, Green Day, Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance. It's literally just it's ridiculous. Devil Wears Prada is the big one.
You, bringing up your comment right there about if you ever grew out of being 16, all right? And I want to ask I have not asked this question before to anyone, all right? Being a musician and everything, I'm going to ask you,
Yep.
what is your opinion on all these bands doing like 20-year anniversary tours, 25-year anniversary tours? Like, what is your opinion on that?
Well, it makes me feel old for one. For sure. That's the big one. I'm 27, like I'm not really that old necessarily. It's just like crazy seeing, those bands that I was like, man, I had this song on my little MP3 player that had like the USB stick on the end of it.
Yep.
And I was like, I've been listening to that band since then, and that's crazy. They're doing a, you know, I'm trying to think of any off the top of my head that just got released. I went to Bowling for Soup just did one.
Mm-hmm.
I went to that one. It was their 25 year, maybe. I think 20 or 25.
It's something like that, yeah.
I don't remember. I went to that one. That was a lot of fun. It's a
See,
good time
I,
seeing
I
them.
I I've seen videos of them playing, and it looks like a fun show all around.
Oh yeah.
But up until, and I'd honestly like to say when we were Young Fest, up until
Mhm.
that started, you didn't see bands coming out and doing these 20-year anniversary tours,
No.
which, you said you're 27, I'm
Mhm.
34.
Mhm.
So all these bands
Yeah.
doing these tours, it's like, you're right, I feel old,
Yeah.
but it's like, you kind of got to pick and choose which one you're going to go see now.
Right. Yeah. Well, and a big part of it too is the nostalgia. That's what it
Mhm.
is. A lot of these bands are the reason they're doing this all right now is because the nostalgia thing is really big. People are really we we're all adults and we're stressed out and we wish that we were 16 with no troubles in the world again. That's what it
Y-
is.
Yeah.
And we're trying to relive that teen angst or whatever you want to call it.
I
Uh
can I I can definitely agree with it.
yeah.
Like maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, I randomly went back on a Horse the Band kick,
Yeah.
and
I
I
just
was
saw
like,
that they announced a little short run.
and I had posted a
Yeah.
Facebook status. I'm like, I'm fine with all these anniversary tours, but I want a Horse the Band one. And
Yeah.
then they announced it 2 weeks later, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's sick.
I don't
Love
know how
that.
many people my age are actually gonna go
Yeah.
because they were one of those bands that they were around and then they completely dropped off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
I- it's mind-boggling in a way because a lot of these bands from back then they did drop off. They haven't really done anything in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But you are right, they are capitalizing on the nostalgia and it's working.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, definitely it's working.
Oh god. I actually had a friend, my bass player actually went out to When We Were Young Fest this year,
Oh yeah, that's
and
crazy.
she said it was not worth the money, essentially.
Really? You just kind of
Uh,
can't see everyone you want to see, kind of thing.
no,
Yeah.
apparently production-wise, sound quality and everything, there
Just
was only
bad.
one sta yeah, there was only one stage that had good sound.
Oh, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I've
it
heard
it
very mixed reviews about it from people for sure.
mhm. All I could say is this much, hearing that review from a bandmate of mine, it's like, "'Kay, now I know I can just save my money and maybe go to Riot Fest instead."
Right, exactly. Go to something else, incarceration or something.
Exactly, which honestly, I would love to get out to that one, to be honest with you.
Same. That's one that I've always wanted to go to. It'd be a lot of fun.
Mhm. Alright, so let's take a quick break. However, we are going to spin one of your tracks, and uh, you sent over an acoustic work, and we have one of your, Tragic Fate Tales, songs, correct?
Yep.
Alright, well, we're gonna start with the acoustic one, let everyone know who you are as a solo artist, which I see your tag says "Worst Solo Artist of All Time."
Yep.
Very, very nice. I love the fact that we
Thanks.
can have the little headline thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen of the other side of the mic, this is God Fell Silent by Tim Leland.
When I was young, I'd go to church on Sundays, even went to youth group on Wednesdays. Became a counselor at the church camp I was raised in. Spent all my days doing nothing but praise Him. I never even thought about it twice, because my life right then was oh so nice. Call it faith or call it blindness, but in my heart I always knew I'd find Him. I way too late. Now I know the trials in life, they last forever. Now I know the company I keep doesn't define me. Now I know that God will never be there for me. Now I know the trials in life, they last forever. Now I know the company I keep doesn't define me. Now I know that God will never be there for me. Because right when I needed it most, I'd shout. But God fell silent when I cried out.
All right. You know, we were talking beforehand, before the show and everything like that, and you said you were raised very religious.
Mhm.
And you kind of started that by mentioning you didn't know much about wrestling and everything.
Yeah.
So
I don't know a lot about a lot.
hey, it's all right. It's all right. But you know, I guess you did mention certain things in that song. But what were some of the issues going on in your life that brought that song to life, if you don't mind talking about it?
Well, so I sat on that song for like I think 5 years. I wrote that song and I let it sit in the notes in my phone for 5 years. I didn't I performed it live like maybe 2 times at random shows. Um, but I was I was afraid of what people would think. I was afraid of old um, you know, people I went to school with, family members, people from my church, whatever, seeing that and I don't know, thinking that I'm like some evil person.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Um,
Mhm.
and I finally got to a point in my life where I realized, like, you know what? This is my story, and I feel like I really want to tell it. I feel like I finally like with everything going on in the world right now, and um, I recently had a kid, and it put a lot into perspective. Um, and I was like, man, I want to release this song. So
How old's your kid?
he's a year and 3 months, 15 months.
Oh boy.
Um, he's running around getting into shit. But
Oh jeez.
yeah, it put a lot into perspective, and it made me realize, like, man, all these people that like I thought I cared so much what they thought, I realized that like none of them cared anyway.
Mhm.
Like that might sound shitty maybe, but
No,
like none of them spoke to me, I've never gotten messages from them like, "Hey, how have you been?" Like no, like these are people that I went to school with and then never spoke to again, kind of thing, and I'm like,
mhm.
why do I care what these people think when they don't even know who I am,
Mhm.
kind of thing. Like they knew me 10 years ago. They don't know me now, you know? So,
They knew you pre-metalhead.
yeah, exactly. So, I started to realize I was like, why do I care what they think then if I don't even talk to these people? So, I released that song. I did a full you can go find them on my page if you look. Um, I did a 3-part photo shoot um, with to go along with the release of the song leading up to the song. I did a set that was like I dressed up nice in a dress shirt, and we took pictures in front of a church, and I covered my tattoos and stuff, and I tried to look like I did then, or whatever you want to say. And we did that for the first one, and I had a monologue. I wrote a monologue with each set of pictures of just talking about my story, things I'd been through, stuff that people, even family members that I had, probably didn't even know, kind of stuff. And I was just like, man, if I'm gonna put this all out there, I'm gonna put it all out there, kind of thing. And so the first part we did that. The second part was kind of like we use the imagery of like me taking off a blindfold, and like just like me still in the dress clothes, but like a little bit scruffed up and like the shirt's unbuttoned and stuff like that. And then the third and final set we did, that one was like the second one's like the transition period kind of thing, and then the third one is like who I am now kind of thing. And that was me coming out as a Satanist. And I know like a lot of people probably, don't really care, what your beliefs are or whatever. But for me, it was like a really big deal because that was like letting my family and everybody know, like, hey, this is who I am. And if you have an issue with that, like, that sucks, I guess, kind of thing. And it doesn't change who I am as a person. That's the biggest point I was trying to drive home with this was that just because I don't believe in God and don't believe in that doesn't mean that I'm this evil person and that like I'm out here sacrificing goats in my cellar and stuff, it's like just love each other. Like it's not that hard. My rule is I say, just don't be a piece of shit. It's that easy. You don't need religion to know that.
No, you don't. And that's the
Yeah.
other thing too. Listening to the song, the lyrics, you could tell there's 3 different parts to it. So the imagery you conveyed with the photo shoots for it, honestly, I applaud you on that one
Thank you.
because
It was kind of a really last minute idea. One of my friends takes pictures. Shikoko's her name. Wasteland Photography. I'll shout it out.
okay.
She was just kind of I just talked to her. I was like, hey, I kind of want to do some pictures, just like some promo pictures kind of for the song, just in general. And then I started really thinking about it, and it was like it came into that fruition of like, this song's in 3 parts. What if we did the photo shoot in 3 parts? And we brainstormed together a lot. It's like crazy. Our messages back and forth talking about all kinds of ideas and stuff. And it was a lot of fun getting to work with her on that. It's the first time that she'd ever done something like that. And it's the first time I'd ever done something even remotely like that. So it was a lot of fun. It was a learning experience for us both for sure. And yeah, it was just something I don't know. I wanted to do something different. That's what the biggest thing. I was like, man, these people, they're just dropping songs. It's like, how do I drop this song? It's my clock in the background. It plays music on the hour every hour.
And what's it playing right now?
I don't know.
Well,
something.
as I was saying, the artistic creativity and everything behind it, that is definitely different than what a lot of musicians are doing now.
Thank you.
And honestly, the song is very well written, in my opinion.
Thank you.
And the other question I have for you, as it is kind of like, you coming out and being your own individual person.
Yeah.
Has your family said anything about it?
Not really. I don't know that a lot of them probably listened to it either. It was one of those things, I don't know. I kind of did this more for me than anybody else. Like, yes, I care what they think and stuff, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I don't really. I don't know how to describe that. It's hard because, it's family and you want to love them because it's family, but at the same time, you have to choose your happiness at some point.
That's a very true statement.
One of the hardest things in life. I've been dealing with that a lot lately. So it's big point for sure.
Well, just so you know, people can't, because this is live on Facebook. It's also live on YouTube. People can tune in and watch. We have a couple comments I want to bring up.
Shit.
James Knight, hell yeah, Tim Leland fucking sucks, I'm guessing.
He's watching my son right now.
Oh, he's the babysitter.
Yeah. Well, him and his wife are.
Oh, well, thank you both very much for being the babysitter tonight. And then we also have Devin Rubel.
Yep.
Shout out Daddy Tim.
Sweet.
You know, and honestly, I love doing these podcast episodes because you never know who's gonna pop on, and
Right.
you never know what's gonna get said in the comments.
For sure.
Anyway, though, back to talking about the music and everything.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about your influences and everything like that. I'm trying to figure out like the way to ask this question, but okay. I know what the question's going to be now. What made you pick up a ukulele instead of an acoustic guitar?
Everyone plays the guitar.
Just wanted to be different.
Yep. That's literally it's I think that's just me as a person. I think that my whole goal in life is just I want to be different. I don't know if that sounds weird. But I don't know. I like being different, and I like being that guy that people are like, did you see that guy with the electric ukulele covering Limp Bizkit? What the fuck is that?
I'm still dumbfounded at the fact that there's an electric ukulele, but I shouldn't be surprised because there's electric kazoos out there.
Yeah.
We used to have an electric kazoo.
I'll have to send you a video after this.
Sounds good. But there was another comment. William Scott asked him if he was a wrestler, what would his weapon be?
Probably his uke. I don't know.
What would your weapon of choice be?
I don't know. There's always been something really intriguing to me about the metal folding chair. You know what I mean? There's just something about that. Even though I've never really watched it or been into it really. I have WWF Raw for the PS1. I play that sometimes. So I know a little bit.
That's a throwback.
Oh yeah, it is. That game is horrible.
Yes. Yes, it is. I've got, so growing up and everything, the first game system that my brothers and I had was a Sega Genesis, Sega CD combo. So you had like the WWF in your house game, which was like arcade style.
Yeah.
But then it started going to like N64, and I got a whole mess of the games up there. But WWF Attitude and WCW Nitro were the worst two that I ever played.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. I didn't play a ton of them, but there was a couple of those games that I definitely played a little bit of. My friends come over sometimes and we'll just hook up the PS1 and play it just for fun. And it's like, it literally gives you a headache trying to play it because the graphics are so bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, shout out to modern advances in video gaming and graphics.
For real.
Shout out to the fact that we have wireless controllers nowadays.
Yeah. I have my my wireless controller for my PS2 that I use sometimes. I was playing my Wi-Fi was out yesterday, so I was playing Destroy All Humans on the PS2. Yeah. And I forgot how hard that game is. Or just how hard all those games are in general for no reason.
Yeah.
And most of it's just because the mechanics suck and they don't work right half the time. And that's what makes them hard.
Yep. I honestly feel when it comes to the PS2 games and everything, the developers were like, hey, the graphics are going to be better. This is a whole new system. We're running at a higher, gigabyte RAM speed. Let's shove everything we can in.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why half the games after about a year decided to start crashing and you'd get the wonderful screen of death.
Yep. And then they made a video game out of just literally every movie that came out. Every single cartoon movie, just all of it. Everything that
But
came out, there was a game for it.
but the funniest part is half of those games were better than the actual movie, just
Yeah.
because of the extra shit they threw in it.
Oh yeah. I have the Ed and Eddie game.
I forgot there was an Ed, Ed and Eddie
I
game.
played through that recently again. And then they remastered the SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. And it
I
was
saw
on Game
that.
Pass. And I downloaded that on Game Pass and I 100%ed it.
There
I
you
got
go.
every single sock, every spatula, everything in the game. I 100%ed it. I just grinded it out for like a couple weeks.
All right, so we won't spend too much more time on video games and everything, but I gotta ask:
It's all
Are
right.
you a Sonic or a Mario guy?
I would definitely say a Mario guy because I don't know, just because I've always liked that more, I guess. The my son, his first birthday party too was his 1-up birthday party, and it was all
There you
Mario
go.
themed. So
Very nice.
yeah.
All right. Well, then now I gotta go Mario or Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, between those two, it'd be Crash Bandicoot because I just recently was playing through the Wrath of Cortex. Was
Yes.
just replaying that one. That's one thing that I could talk about for ever and ever and ever is video games. So
All right. Final question then. All right. Crash Bandicoot or Spyro?
ooh, it's a hard one. Hmm. So let's think about that one. Because I played both of those a lot as a kid.
Mhm.
Those were like I had my the PS1.
Yep. Those were,
So
in reality, those were PlayStation's flagship characters to begin with.
yeah. But I think I played Spyro first. Spyro was the one I started on, and then we did Crash Bandicoot after. But I think I like Crash better. Just because I don't know, something about it was more fun to me, I guess.
All right.
That's about
Final
it.
question. Final questions about video games. All right.
All right.
If you could pick and choose one classic video game to get a full remaster for modern consoles, what would it be?
How classic are we talking? PS does
Anything,
PS2 count?
anything that's never been done, or even anything that's never been done yet.
All right. This is a hot take, but this is just because this is a game that I played a lot of. Like, I don't know what it was about this game. One of my friends showed it to me in, man, 7th grade probably. We he had this game at his house and it was the first time I watched him play it one day. And I was like, man, that's cool. And he let me borrow it. And then I literally like beat it in like 2 days. And I gave it back to him. And I just it was the most recent game that I've replayed through. Neopets The Darkest Fairy. It's a very specific game. It's weird. But it's a Neopets video game, but you're like a werewolf guy and you like run around and kill shit with swords. I don't know why it's so much fun. It's almost
Okay.
like it's very similar to Zelda play style wise.
Okay.
It's that kind of vibe for sure.
All right.
Like I said,
All
hot
right.
take, but
Yeah, I've never even heard of that game before, so
now you'll have to look it up.
now I will have to look it up. All right, so moving on. We know you're a solo artist, but we also know that you are also a part of Tragic Fate.
Yeah.
Tell us about Tragic Fate. How long have you guys been around? Any plans or goals you have coming into 2025?
Yeah. So we've been together for we've been on hiatus for a little while. Almost 2 years. Well, year and a half, I guess, probably about. We just I had my son and my guitar player broke his wrist, and it was just one of those like everything happened at once, so we just kind of took some time off and you know, got stuff figured back out, and now we just started again a couple months ago, probably regularly meeting. Me and Brad, my guitar player, meet once a week, and we've just been working on. We're writing new music. We've been in talks with some people about rhythm guitar and bass. We have a couple people trying out for those. We're pretty much having to completely rebuild our lineup right now. It's just me and Brad, the lead guitar player, at the moment. But we put a call out for tryouts, and we've had some people interested that have talked to me, and we're going to get them tried out in the next couple weeks. We're hoping to start practicing at the beginning of the year after the first, and then we're looking at hopefully late summer, fall time to do our comeback show.
Very nice.
Very
nice.
It'll be about 2 years without us playing at that point, so it should be a pretty big deal. It'll be a lot of fun. We've been around. Let's see. We only played 5 shows before our hiatus.
Okay.
We played 1 out of town, and then the other 4 were local ones in that time. But our debut show was October. I have the flyer right here. October 14th, 2022. That was our debut with Landing Hill Nightmare is their name. And we had almost 100 people there. Our debut, our first show. It was a banger. It was crazy. Like, there's videos and stuff of it. I'll send you some later to show you. But it was like, I never could have asked for a better debut. Like, it was, all of our friends were there. The pit was nuts. It was just a really good time. And we did that, and then what did we do after that? Then we played a show in January. We played for my friend's birthday at a place called Skate Bar here.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it, yeah. Yeah, when he was here in St. Joe. They're in KC now.
Yeah, I was good. That's okay. That's why I was like, Skate Bar. That's in KC now.
Yeah, it used to be here in St. Joe. The first location was. But we played there for my friend's birthday, and then we played there for a thing around Thanksgiving we called the Thanksgiving Massacre, which is also a flyer right there. And then we played with Hemlock. We opened up for Hemlock, and that was a lot of fun. We did that here in town. And then we had a show out of town in Warrensburg at a place called Bodie's. We played for my friend Alicia's birthday.
Very nice.
That was a lot of fun. And then, right now we're looking at some dates. We just don't want to book anything, get anything solid too soon. We don't want to rush it. We want to. We did the same thing with our debut. We could have played our debut months before we did, but we wanted to make sure that it was solid. We wanted to make sure that we weren't going to come out and look like idiots. Pretty much.
Right.
We wanted to come out with a bang, and we wanted to make that shit stick. And I think that we really did that. It was definitely a night that a lot of people in this town remember.
So with you planning to have your return debut show with Tragic Fate sometime next summer, fall, are you and the new members, once the lineup is solidified, going to be releasing music leading up to that point?
Oh, yeah. So we have 3 songs released right now. I think we have 8 songs done.
All right.
These are songs that we performed even when we were performing. We have some. There's so we have those 3, and then there's one called Burn the Witch. That's a lot of fun that we do. My personal favorite is called Welcome to Hell. It's the song that we end with every time. It's our heaviest song. It's one of those, the breakdown hits, and you think the song's over, and then it just comes back again. And then you think the song's over, and it comes back again. It's one of those
Nice.
songs. And it's just me up there literally acting like I'm possessed, rolling around, punching myself in the face and shit. It's fun. Very
All right.
theatrical. That's our big thing, is we're very theatrical.
All
That's
right.
the big selling point of it.
Well, on that note, let's play some Tragic Fate. This was a song we were using to help promote this podcast episode. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Beast. All right, so that was The Beast by Tragic Fate. Now, Tim, we talked about God Fell Silent. what is the inspiration for that? Are you a horror movie fan? Is there anything in particular that was, you know?
So the whole premise of Tragic Fate is pretty much horror. It's horrorcore, horror metal. We wear the makeup on our faces, and all of our stuff is very spooky themed, and it's about fears people have, death, normal
Mhm.
stuff. That
I
kind
was
of
like,
stuff.
I was listening to
Horror
the lyrics
themed.
and I'm like, I wonder if they're horror related.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all allegories, obviously.
Okay.
Um, the beast is, if you can't tell, the government. uh, and
Yes.
obviously,
Yes.
very apparent if you listen to the word.
Mhm.
But that song just came. I don't know. It just came to me one day. Lyric content wise, kind of how we write is Brad comes up with instrumentals, and then I just listen to it over and over and over again and write lyrics to whatever I think sounds good with it.
As,
And
as a vocalist myself, thank you. That is the proper way to write.
yeah, and then I just I don't know. I get a topic in my head, and that's the topic I try to stick to. I
Mhm.
try not to stray from it too much. Our other songs are a little bit more broad, but they're still very like Ghost and The Tragedy. I don't know if you've listened to either of those.
Yes.
Um, but our our newer stuff, we're really excited to release. We have one that I've been really excited about. I can talk about it. It's all right. We have a song that is a pirate song that we've been working on. It's called Beneath the Black Sails.
Okay.
I've been wanting to do one for a while, and there's a monologue at the beginning of it, and it's about pirates,
All right.
and it's a lot of fun because it's very boomy and very dark, um, and I'm really excited for it to finally come to fruition. I think we have 3 different songs we're working on right now, new ones that nobody's heard yet. So by the time
Well,
that
that
debut comes, we should have probably 4 more original songs. So
will definitely keep me posted, everything like that. Where can people
yeah,
find your music for Tragic Fate as well as your solo? What platforms are you on?
we're on everything: Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, yeah, pretty much anything that you can name. You can find both of us on there.
That is the best answer I like hearing. You're on everything.
Yeah,
It makes it so much easier to find someone.
right. Yeah,
Well, we are coming up to the end of our time here. Thank you again, Tim, for being with me tonight on the other side of the mic. Now, tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
yep.
What are you thankful for?
Green bean casserole. I'm just kidding. No. I don't know. It's gonna be cheesy. I'm thankful for everybody that supports me, whether it's actively listening to my music, coming to shows, buying merch, sharing, or even just liking a post. Um, just everyone who supports what I do, because the reason I play music is because it's important to me. It's not because it makes me a bunch of money. It's not because it's fun all the time, because it gets pretty stressful. But it's I literally couldn't do it without people supporting me and in my corner. So I thank all of you.
Well, I'm honestly, Tim, as I said, I'm grateful and thankful for you to be here tonight. Everyone, be sure to go follow and like Tim LeLand and Tragic Fate on all platforms. As Tim stated, their music, his solo music, and their music, it's available everywhere. And we will be tagging him in future posts. And Tim, I hope to have you back here sometime next year once everything gets up and going with Tragic Fate. It's
For
been a
sure.
few weeks. And maybe by you'll have watched some wrestling, and we could talk about that too.
Yeah, but
Hey, if you don't get into it, it's fine. Trust me.
I'll try my best.
Wrestling was just what started the TLC podcast that has now spun over into this.
Yeah.
So. But Tim, thank you once again for being with me tonight. Ladies and
Thank
gentlemen,
you.
please enjoy your Thanksgiving with your family, friends, however you choose to celebrate it. If you choose to go out tonight, which it's Blackout Wednesday, please be responsible. That's all I got to say about that. We don't need to hear about anyone catching DUIs.
Right.
Remember, Uber is cheaper. Call your friends. Designated driver.
Yep. All of the above.
Tim, do you have any final words of advice or any thoughts for tonight?
Just never forget that Tim LeLand fucking sucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your weekly installment of The Other Side of the Mic.